I'm on the California coast, just north of Mendocino, where Boyd and Mary Kay Height have their vacation home, which they had mapped out to its actual size using stakes like these. They did this one weekend on their lawn at their home in Los Angeles. They brought out their chairs, tables, sleeping bags, all to get a feel for how the home would work. Now, where are you, Boyd?
I'm in the office.
And where am I?
You're in the kitchen, where you belong.
Oh, I'll meet you at the fireplace. Now, you may think that this is excessive, extreme, but then you haven't seen their home, right, Boyd?
Right.
Did you mean that about the kitchen, Boyd?
No, actually, I like to be in the kitchen, too. I make pizzas.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Well, you'll have to make me one then.
Right.
Now, take me through the process. You wanted a vacation home. You have this. Fill me in.
Well, we decided to build something a little bit unusual. We sort of lost control of it.
Who was the architect?
Bart Prince, who lives and works in Albuquerque. Mm-hmm. He's a very individual designer, and he does just one of each kind of house.
What is the shape of the house? Was it supposed to emulate any particular object?
Well, it looks like a corkscrew from the air. And that's all you can say. Otherwise, it simply undulates along.
And they call it here the wave, correct?
The local people nicknamed it the wave, and that's what everybody calls it.
I like your use of plexiglass, right, around here?
Right, that's a Lexan material, and it's translucent, so it permits light to go through, but it protects your privacy because you really can't see what's happening on the other side, and it's also a good insulating material.
Wow, it does a lot. There's one thing I need to know, though, which I have no clue about. Where's the door?
It's around the corner.
Do you mind if I check your house out?
Please.
Thank you. Look at this door. When you have a house like this, you can't have a normal door. This is a 9-foot door that spins open and uses a lot of window cleaner. And here's the entrance of the house. And see how the roof slopes down? This is a great use of space here. This would have all been wasted space. So they put these little terraced benches here. And they're very neat people. If this was me, this would have been filled with mail, catalogs, maybe a jacket or two, some keys. But they're a little neater than I am. And now for the rest of the home. Now, this is one of those houses that, in order to really appreciate it, you have to take in the entire space and then work your way through to the little areas. And this place is absolutely overwhelming. This house really evokes an imagination in everyone. People think it looks like a whale. They think it looks like the waves, the coastline, how it undulates, the skeleton of a dinosaur, all different things. I think, for me, it kind of feels like I'm in the middle of a wooden instrument, a piano, a harpsichord, and all these beams are just the different keys, and the music's playing, and there's all these overtones, and wow, sometimes I say the most beautiful things. There are 64 beams from bow to stern in this home, and this is cedar, and they're actually 2x4s glued together to make it look like a beam, and that way it is environmentally conservative. And the wood horizontally is heart redwood, and just beautiful. And this home kind of begs the question, how many planning committees does it take to approve of this house? And actually just one. And the only problem that people had with it was that their concern was that the windows would give off a glare to the whales out in the ocean. And so they solved this problem, and this is just amazing to me. I couldn't believe when I heard it. They got all the whales big sunglasses. I'm kidding. They just positioned the house in a different angle, thereby solving that problem. Here is a light fixture, also designed by the architect Bart Prince. He shipped this up to them from Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a box with all these different pieces. This is copper, and said, you figure it out. And it took about 3 people to figure out how to put this together. And this is actually 3 of the sconces that are on the wall. The Heights furniture is from all around the world. This particular piece and the credenza behind me is from Sweden, which they bought when they were just starting out as a young couple. And after they bought it, they realized, we don't have the money for this. So what do Californians do when they need money? They go on quiz shows. They went on 9. Great story. Love the gas fireplace. This large stone structure in the middle of the home, if you want to call it the middle of the home, is a fireplace, and then on the other side is a bathroom, because there's always more than one way to put out a fire. I love this hearth, the stone hearth that angles out into all directions. It's a nice contrast with this wood. This is Jatopa wood. It's from Brazil. And Mary Kay says, it's beautiful, it's lovely, but it's a little hard to maintain, gets dirty quickly, and she wishes that she could prescribe to the Japanese method. And I thought, Japanese method? What's that? They lay the wood differently, they have a tea ceremony, what? She said, well, no, they take their shoes off. Right. Boyd is on the board of trustees of the American University in Cairo, and so a lot of the decor here in this home is Egyptian, Middle Eastern. This is a camel saddlebag from Egypt. This is one from Iran, although I don't think it's a camel one. Pretty small camel. And Mary Kay, who is an art historian, did her dissertation on Indian art. So a lot of the rugs are from India and other types of pieces of furniture. And they kept the interior of the home very simple because they did not want to compete with this view. The space in this home is awesome, and yet it is only 3,200 square feet. But because the way it was built and that you see its ribs, you see the way the home shapes, it's pretty dramatic. But the home still has its more intimate spaces, like this kitchen, which is round, warm, cozy, and the architect opened it up by putting these wood slats in. That way you get more sunlight, you can be a part of whatever's going on in the living room or the dining room, and yet you still kind of feel that there's some privacy here. And this is their vacation home. Their real home is in the Los Angeles area, but they do plan to retire here someday. Up here is the guest room. The Heights have 3 grandchildren, and just a note to parents, I remember being 3 years old, looking at this and going, how foolish parents really are. So we'll put that aside, and it's in this room that you really get the feeling that you're in a hull of a ship. Look at these angles of this roof and the side of this house. This trunk was actually found on a ship. It is a pearl diving trunk from Kuwait. This is the balcony off the guest room. Here you can see a great view of the California coastline. There's some fishermen fishing for salmon, and it also gives you a whole nother perspective on the angles of this home. These pillows are also from Kuwait, and they go to this beautiful chess set. Hello, Mary Kay. How are you?
Fine.
I was just admiring your chess set.
It was a birthday present to Boyd a few months ago.
Ah, do you play?
Just well enough to beat my 7-year-old grandson, but not well enough to beat Boyd.
In time. Now we'll go check out the master bedroom.
Good. Come up with me.
Oh, wow. How many angles are in this room? Have you counted them?
None of them are right.
None of them are right.
But what I like about it is you can flop down on the bed, in fact, because that's the whole object of this room, is to be able to wake up in the morning and see all the way down the coast to the little lighthouse.
And I love all your different facets. It's almost like you're looking at different views, and yet it's just one beautiful view of the ocean. This is unbelievable. Okay, I don't see anything.
Maybe this would help.
Oh.
Look right out over there. You can see the sea lions. They come into our bay here and hunt for abalone.
Excellent. You know, I was talking to your husband a little earlier, and the two of you seem like very normal people. So how do you have a house like this?
And I'm associated with preservation. I think that we are creating a house that in 100 years we're going to be having somebody out there saying, save the Height House.
Excellent.
Like you do for preservated things that are preserved today. And we also wanted to do something that is the kind of thing that you preserve in the future, using new materials and new angles and new ways of enclosing space.
Wow. So this is your vacation home. So what do you do as a vacationer here?
Well, one thing you haven't done is look at the little town of Mendocino, which is so charming. It's a 19th century village kept very pristine. So maybe we could run down there and have a look.
Excellent.
Okay.
Always shop. Always time to shop. How far is Mendocino from this
It's
home?
just 3.5 miles, so it's a real quick
Oh,
trip.
that's not bad. Oh, actually, I'll meet you downstairs.
Okay.
Always have to check out the bathroom. Oh, very nice. You gotta love a bathtub with a view. My bathtub just has a view of a shower curtain. Mendocino is so enchanting. It really has a lot of flavor.
Well, it got really laid back after the mill closed in the 1930s until the 60s. Then it was discovered by the flower children and by the arts and craftsy types. And ever since, it has been gradually getting more cute shops, nicer restaurants, cute bed and breakfasts.
And still pretty laid back, though. You just throw in a pair of jeans and you go.
And that's what everybody does.
Now, I would have chosen to build a vacation home here just because there was a cookie company. But what was your reason?
That's a good reason, but we chose it because it's so beautiful, it's so calm, and such a nice contrast to city life, which is busy, of course, and people are so little town. They're friendly, open, fun to be with.
Well, that's a good enough reason for me. Do you think we should have brought a cookie back for Boyd?
Yes, maybe I'll save half of it.
Oh, you're a better person than I am, Mary Kay.